Have you ever seen mountains turn to fire? It happens here in the Dolomites as the day ends. The peaks, which stand pale and gray under the midday sun, begin to blush. A soft pink light touches the highest points first. Then, as the sun sinks lower, the color deepens into a vibrant rose, then a fiery red. People come from all over the world just to witness this daily spectacle. They call it enrosadera, a local word that means turning pink. This magical light paints the stone, making the mountains seem alive, as if they are breathing in the last warmth of the sun before the cool of the night arrives. The phenomenon is a beautiful trick of light and atmosphere. At sunrise and sunset, the sun's rays must travel through more of Earth's atmosphere. This longer journey scatters the blue and green light, leaving mostly the red, orange, pink wavelengths to continue onward. When this reddish light strikes the pale dolomite rock, the mountains appear to glow from within. The Dolomites are not walled like other mountains. They do not rise in rounded, gentle slopes. Instead, they thrust upward with dramatic vertical force. Jagged spires, sharp needles, immense flat-topped towers, cliffs, pinnacles, massifs, breathtaking works of natural sculpture, they stand in stark contrast with the soft rolling landscapes at their feet. The shapes are so distinct that many peaks have their own names and legends: deep green valleys, wide open meadows. In summer, these pastures are covered in a carpet of wildflowers, bright splashes of yellow, purple, blue, red, attracting bees and butterflies. The air is filled with the sweet scent of hay and pine, small traditional wooden huts, malj. Farmers bring their cows to graze during the warm season. Hikers follow ancient paths, the sound of their footsteps, a soft rhythm against bird song, and a distant mountain stream. The contrast between harsh, vertical rock and gentle, life-filled meadows defines the Dolomites. It is a landscape of extremes. The story of the Dolomites begins not in the sky, but deep beneath the waves of an ancient tropical sea. Around 250 million years ago, this region was submerged under the warm waters of the Tethys Ocean. This primordial sea was teeming with life. Vast coral reefs grew, built by countless tiny organisms. Algae, shells, the skeletal remains of marine creatures piled up over millions of years. Layers of organic sediment piled up. Immense pressure and heat transformed them. The material hardened into a new kind of rock, the carbonate stone known as dolomite. Magnesium-rich water altered original calcium carbonate deposits. The process gave the rock its pale color and a unique crystalline structure, strong yet vulnerable to erosion. For eons, these formations lay hidden. Then the African and European plates collided. The seabed rose, emerging from the water. The mountains we see are fossilized reefs and seabeds, later carved into dramatic shapes. Massive glaciers, wind, rain, and freezing and thawing water worked into cracks, breaking off huge slabs and sculpting cliffs. Erosion continues today, but on a timescale we can't easily see. In 2009, the Dolomites were granted a special status by the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, UNESCO. They were inscribed on the World Heritage List, places of outstanding universal value, not for one reason, but for a combination that makes this range truly unique. UNESCO celebrated the Dolomites for their superlative natural beauty, their monumental landscapes, and their globally significant geology. Fossil reefs and clear layers let scientists study reef building in the Triassic. The process of dolomitization is visible here. The mountains are an open-air museum, invaluable for research and education. The report highlights dramatic landscapes, upright landscapes, colorful landscapes. The contrast of pale peaks and green valleys has inspired artists, writers, and travelers for centuries. Views from high passes, mirror-still alpine lakes, and the enrosadera at sunset create one of the world's most beautiful scenes. This aesthetic value is a core part of the region's heritage. The Dolomites are not an untouched wilderness. They are a landscape lived in, worked in, and traveled through for centuries. The human presence is everywhere: small barns, intricate paths. These trails began as routes for shepherds, hunters, traders between valleys. A vital part is the system of mountain huts, or refugi, welcoming shelters perched high, offering food, warmth, and a bed. Run by families, they are centers of mountain culture, where people of all ages share stories over simple meals. The villages are the living heart: Cortina d'Ampezzo, Ortice, Canazze, Hear Ladine, see wood carvings, taste old recipes, wooden balconies with bright flowers, communities preserving culture while welcoming visitors. To visit is to accept a responsibility. Stay on marked trails, carry out all trash, never disturb fragile plants or wildlife. Weather can change in an instant. Bring proper clothing, a map, and water. By exploring with care, we keep our footprint light so these mountains inspire wonder for generations. See them for yourself and, let their silent majesty speak to you.